Hello, hello, hello. I am starting milk prep for today. Just getting everything set. I said I would start at 6:30, but I'm a little more prepared than usual, so I'm starting a little early. So I'm gonna try to shut most of the doors to my kitchen because it's football Saturday and all my guys are watching football and they get really loud. So I am shutting doors so you guys won't have to listen to that. So what I am doing now, and if anyone joined me last week, you'll recognize what I'm doing now. I eat steak hey, how are you, sweetheart? I eat steak for my lunch almost every day. I'm trying to move this up so if someone comments, I can see it. I eat steak stir fry for my lunch almost every day. And what I do at our grocery store is I get strip steaks, which are about that big, and they're only $6. So one of these will make 2 lunches for me. So that's what I have going on right now. And I'm more blind than I thought. It says, did you get my message? I don't think I got your message. Well, I haven't checked. Charities, I need to pay someone to make me. Charity, you have been trying to pay me to meal prep for you for a long time. For a long time. If I ever decide to quit my job, I know how I will supplement my income. It will be by meal prepping. So what I do is I just cut up all my steak and put it into chunks. And I do that because when I was doing just strips, it didn't seem like a lot of food. So it was a mental thing. I felt like I was hungry and I really wasn't. So now I cut everything into chunks. That's a visual thing, and I encourage everyone to do this. If you are on a diet, and Star, don't agree with her. If you're on a diet and you really feel like you're starving and you're not eating enough, one of the things I suggest is to take your food and to cut it up into smaller pieces and then put it on your plate. Just the fact that it's more spread out on your plate, you will feel like you're getting more food. It is true that you eat with your eyes, and that is something that is a mental trick to do when you are trying to lose weight and trying to eat healthier, is to spread your food out. The other thing, let me show you guys this. The other thing that I suggest is to change the plates that you use to eat. Ooh, I knocked something down. To change the plates that you use to eat. All of our plates are, we use paper plates. This is, I think, is an 8.5 inch plate, or we use this. This is a portion size plate. You can get these on Amazon, and it shows like if you eat grain, it will go here. This is your protein, and then this is your vegetable. This is your vegetable. So the big section is the vegetable, your grain, and your protein. These are so helpful when you're trying to eat healthy and trying to eat portion size. I really suggest this. Let me show you another example. Come on in, Mario. You guys are about to see Mario walk past in a helmet. Don't be afraid, it's just Mario. And that screen was really. Okay. So I got Mario dancing by screen. I got Clarence yelling because Nick Chubb apparently got a touchdown. Is that true, Clarence? Did Nick Chubb get a touchdown? Yes. Okay. So that's my house. So here's the difference. This is the average American plate. This is the size of the average American plate. What I will show you is if you look at a portion size plate, you can see the difference. This is why we use paper plates, because there's a drastic difference there when it comes to what you're eating. So I really want to show you guys and encourage you to see what plates you're eating on, see what sizes they are, because it may be your plate as well that's not exactly working in your favor. I actually keep these and I use these as serving plates now. It's something I learned from a college class when it talked about the difference in how we eat from the 1920s, 30s, and 40s to how we eat now. And the biggest change was our plates and stuff have gotten much bigger. So that's why we use paper plates. Now, let me get back to my cutting. And let me see what you're saying, Star. Platters. Yes, they basically are platters. So it's just easier for us. We either use salad plates or we use paper plates for all of our food. That's what's worked for us. It's been really good. I like it. And I really have noticed that I eat much less when I'm using a paper plate than when I'm not. And especially like if you go to a restaurant, the first thing I do usually when I get my meal is I ask for a to-go container, and I put half of the food in the to-go container while I'm already sitting down. So that way I won't even try to eat everything. I already realize that it's more than what I need. So I just go ahead and put it in the to-go container. The other thing I suggest is to ask, when you're placing your order, ask them if there's anything that comes in half portions, half options. Because if you try to order off a kid plate, what you would usually find is that they serve kids a bunch of junk. And it's not something that you want to eat or you want your kids to eat. So I always ask if they have half portions or kid-sized portions for stuff that's on the regular menu. That's another way that can really help you guys. See, I can't touch raw meat. Oh, goodness, Star. You can, there are actually some options for you, Star. You can actually get a lot of stuff cut up for you, especially if you go to the butcher shop. When I went to the butcher shop, I would actually get them to do this for me, so I didn't have to do it. You do pay a little more, but you know, it's a service, so you go for it. I don't mind paying more when I'm getting exactly what I want. So that's an option for you if you don't want to touch raw meat. I don't know. What are you eating, Star? If you don't touch raw meat, what are you eating? I don't know. Because I'm hoping you're not eating just a bunch of frozen stuff, because that's not good. But anyway, so that's what I'm doing is just chopping everything up. And the reason why I do this today, and I call this day one, is because I marinate all of the food that I'm going to cook tomorrow. So I'm actually going to marinate this in the bag. Where do you get the steak from? I get, wait a minute, where do you get steaks for $6 each? That's Schnucks. Schnucks have sirloins that are $6 each. Jaheen, what are you doing?
Oh, no, no way.
Oh, okay. I know what you was doing over there. You're acting a little strange. Schnucks has the sirloin. There's actually one that's $5 each and one that's $6 each. I've used both. It just depends on what you want. The $6 one has a little bit more fat on it, so you're going to get more flavor. But if you marinate your stuff, it really doesn't matter totally. So it just depends on what you're doing. How many popsicles have you already had today?
No, this is for Clarence. I had none.
Yeah. How many popsicles has he had today? Go ask Clarence how many popsicles he done had today. We keep sugar-free popsicles in our house, and we keep sugar-free popsicles in our house for snacks. Sugar-free. I heard it. We keep them in the house for snacks. They're just really good stuff that we keep around. And one of the things that has really worked for us is most of the time, if there's going to be a dessert, if we're going to eat dessert, we're going to eat the dessert outside the house. We don't really bring desserts inside the house because we're going to eat it, and we're going to eat all of it. So our pantry, because we have Jaheen here, when he moved in, we actually had like snacks in our pantry for the first time in like years. So he has a little snack portion up there, and it's for his lunches at school. And he knows that for his cookies, for instance, 3 cookies are a serving size. So when he gets his cookies each week, he separates them into serving sizes and put them in a little Ziploc bag for his lunch. And we are trying to teach him, good healthy eating habits, because when you get to our age, it's hard to create new habits, and it's just stuff you don't want to do. So those are some of the things that we do to try to incorporate stuff in our meal plan. One other thing that I want to talk about is how to go grocery shopping. If you are in the Evansville, Henderson area and you want me to go grocery shopping with you to show you how to eat on a budget as well as eat clean, healthy food, I am available to do that. I do that probably every week almost with someone, or as people need it. It's when you go grocery shopping, it can be a very daunting experience, and it really shouldn't be. One of the things that you have to ask yourself when you are grocery shopping, when you're eating food, is this food going to help me? Oh, that's too big for me. I'll leave that for Clarence. Is this food going to heal me, or is it going to hurt me? Just something that you need to ask yourself. What this food is it going to cause any reactions in my blood sugar? Is it going to make my cholesterol go up? You have to ask yourself when you're eating that stuff. Some of the rules that we follow, just go for me, no, not unless you're paying me. Is some of the rules we follow is everything we get has to have an expiration date on it. We don't eat any, we don't buy like ravioli and stuff like that. We just don't eat that kind of stuff. Even though there's a lot of, there's a good reason to have non-perishables, we just don't have a lot of them. So if we get into a place where there's a storm coming or something like that, what we usually do is we go and we stock up on meats, and if the power or anything goes out, we can just grill. So that's our way of being prepared for storms. Or sometimes if we know it's going to be a bad storm, we'll make a pot of soup or something like that. And if it all, if everything goes crazy, we got grills so we can heat stuff up. We got a fireplace. We can put something in. So it's just stuff like that where we've learned how to do it on a budget, but as well as how to do it healthy. Most of the time, if you have high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, they always, every time you take a medication, it has side effects. And, I try to avoid, all medication as much as possible. And I do that by eating a certain way. Okay, you will. All right, I will. If you paid me to go grocery shop, girl, I am in there. One thing I did forget over here is my scale. And with the scale, this is not something that anyone has to do. I do this for myself because what I found is before I was using my scale, I was not eating enough. I wasn't eating enough protein, and I thought that I would eat way more than I was. So now I actually weigh my food to ensure that I'm eating enough of everything. So that's what I do, and I try to do. I try to do about 5 ounces of. I always do 5 ounces of raw because when I cook it, it's going to shrink. So actually, let me take this off because that's giving me something else. I got to change my settings on it. So I try to do about 5 ounces of raw, so that way I will have what I need in the food, and I will have enough protein. And this by itself is right about 30 grams of protein, so that's what I need. So what I do is I put them all in their little individual bags, so that way when I cook them separately. And you don't have to do this. Last week, I'm actually going to change it this week actually. But last week, let me take this off because I forgot to tear it. Last week, I cooked everything separately. This week, I'm not going to cook everything separate. I'm going to cook them all with the same flavor. If you don't like eating the same thing each day, then this is not for you. I don't mind eating the same thing every day when it's good food. If it's good, I'm gonna eat it. I don't mind that kind of stuff. Some people trip with that and don't want to eat the same thing. If you do not want to eat the same thing every day, one trick that I teach a lot is, let's say chicken breast is on sale, It's an easy food. I left some on thing. It's an easy food to prepare. And let's say it's on sale, and you're going to eat chicken breast that week. Well, let's say you don't want to keep eating that same chicken breast all week. What you can do is take that chicken breast and marinate it. Take about 5 ounces of chicken breast and marinate it with lemon pepper. Then take another 5 ounces and marinate it in a mesquite barbecue. And when you cook it separately all week, you will be eating the same thing, but they're different flavors, different flavor profiles. So your body thinks that, hey man, we're doing good. We're not eating the same thing each time. You really are. That's just a really, really easy trick to do when it comes to meal prepping. And it saves a lot of time as well. Even sometimes when we make stuff for the family, I will put the chicken and wrap it up in some foil or some parchment paper. And I'll put, mine may have lemon pepper, Clarence's may have garlic herb or whatever, but they'll all be different flavors. I wrap it up in different pouches, and I just put them all in the refrigerator, all in the oven at the same time, but they're in their own pouches. And so that way, I messed that up and I got the weigh again. That way I'm getting in the food that I need, but we're eating separate things, and we don't get tired of it. That's the thing. You just don't want to get tired of good food. That's something you don't want to do. I do a lot of stir fries. I encourage people to do stir fries because you can get a lot of stuff in a stir fry. You can get your vegetables, your protein, all of that in one. It heats real easy. I do stir fries all the time for my lunches, and I put in rice, cauliflower, onion, peppers, all kind of stuff. So you can do a lot with a stir fry. And I use cauliflower. Whoa, wait a minute! I think I got my 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got my 5, and then I got steak left over. So this may be dinner one night. Let me see what I'm working with. Yep, this is gonna be dinner one night. So I did 4 steaks, and I have 6 servings out of the 4 steaks. So if you think about that for lunch, I'm ranging right about a little over, right at $5 and some change for lunch, and what goes into it. So my hands are dirty. I have to wash all these bags. Another thing is to stay clean. I keep disinfectant and stuff right in my area. And one of the things that I do constantly is clean everything, even these bags. I'm going to clean these bags before I put them up. But I'm going to show you what I'm doing this week for my marinades. For my marinades this week, I have some grapeseed oil, liquid amino acids, some Worcestershire, some liquid smoke, some minced garlic, and some minced onion. So this week I am actually going to marinate these, and my hands are dirty and I need to open this top. I'm going to marinate them until tomorrow. So hold on for 1 second because I got to clean. I'm dropping stuff, but I'm going to marinate them in this. So amino acids, liquid amino acids, what that is it's a good alternative to soy sauce. If you are a person who needs to watch your sodium, things of that sort, amino acid is a good replacement for soy sauce, and it has a really good flavor to it, and it's a vegetable protein. It doesn't have any carbs, 0 calories, and it has a lot of information on here. And it's made by Bragg's, who makes the vinegar that I love. So the other thing, and I'm sorry about this because I know people always ask me for recipes. I don't keep recipes for anything. Clarence and I don't use recipes for hardly anything. So that's the reason why we started doing these videos, to show people what we're doing, because we don't keep recipes. So I'm just going to put a little bit of amino acids. I had some lemon juice over here somewhere. I think it's in the refrigerator. A little bit of Worcestershire in this one, and then some garlic. So let me see. And then I'll put a little bit of garlic in it. And actually, I thought I was going to cook these all together, and I'm not. The more I think about it, the more I want different flavor profiles. So I'm not going to cook them all together, but I'm gonna just get that in there, let it all get coated with stuff, and then I'll put it in the refrigerator. Charity, let me see what you're saying, Charity. I can't see. Because I don't want you, let me see. If you ever went to write some recipes, meal prep, not knowing my cooking, I just get, yeah, we can do that. I mean, I have a list of websites that I use for meal prepping. So that's something that you can look at as well. One really good marinade is actually tea. Tea is a really, really good marinade that you can use. It has a good flavor to it. The other one is mustard. Mustard is a good marinade as well. And I just play with stuff. I really learn about flavor profiles and what goes with what by watching the Food Channel. My favorite show to watch is Chopped. And I like to watch Chopped to see what they're going to put together. Like, see, what is that? How is it going together? How is that going to taste? What the judges are saying. I like their critiques. It helped me kind of figure out, did it go well together? Did it not go well together? What did they learn from that, type thing. So I look at Chopped to learn about flavor profiles. So that's all I'm doing now, just getting my meats marinated for tomorrow. And I'm trying to see if I have any other seasonings that I want to use. My apple cider vinegar, I think I'm out. I might never run out of apple cider vinegar. Oh, I have balsamic. I have balsamic vinegar, and I have a liquid steak seasoning. So, I usually put vinegar in almost every one of my meals. It's just something that works for me, and it has a lot of good healing properties as well. Especially if you have acid reflux or something like that. I like it. It's just a really cool thing that you can put. It's liquid smoke. A really cool thing that you can put in there to kind of help you out. So I try to do that as much as possible, is to put vinegar and stuff. And so, when these go in the refrigerator to marinate, by the time I cook these tomorrow, like almost all the liquid will be in the meat, and that's what I love. So some of the things, the reason why I'm using what I'm using, vinegar is also a tenderizer. So because I'm using a cheaper meat, it's really good. It's really good to use a good tenderizer when I'm doing that. So that's why I try to put vinegar and stuff as well. I mean, almost everything I'm using actually are good options for tenderizing. And I really don't even care for real, like how I'm putting this in here, because I like it all. And I know that it's gonna be okay. So if you say, man, I can't believe she put that with that, I know. I just put stuff together and it just works for me. It's just something that I do, and it works, and it's good. It's a good thing. So I'm trying to think. I used. Let me see. I didn't use the Dale's yet, so I'm gonna put the steak sauce, and this is just a liquid steak seasoning, a marinade. Most of the time, I actually do dry marinades. I don't do liquids all the time, so this is just a little different. And I forgot about my onion in some of these too. So, and I don't really worry about the onion because I'm actually gonna put fresh onion in it tomorrow. So I don't worry about it as much if I don't get as much in all of them. They will all have fresh onion tomorrow. And then this is my last one. And let's just do like a whole house of stuff on this one. Just gonna put all kind of stuff in there. It really doesn't matter. I'm gonna eat it either way. So it's just different things I've learned. But the thing is, don't do what I do. Learn what you like. And then, when you think about what restaurant have you went to, and what did the food taste like, and then one thing you can do is go online. Like if you like a shrimp scampi somewhere, like Red Lobster shrimp scampi. I don't even eat shrimp scampi, but if you like that, go online and put Red Lobster shrimp scampi, and it will give you a recipe for almost every single thing that's out there. It will give you a recipe for it. So that's what you do. And these are my bags right here. And I have one more. Let me move this over just a little bit. I'm actually going to do, I hardly ever do this, but I'm actually going to do steak for one of my dinners as well. And so I am going to cut this in half. And first, let me see how much it weighs. But I'm gonna, one steak usually is good for me. So let me see, this steak is 10 ounces. So let me see. All right, that's good enough for me. The steak is 10 ounces, so I am going to cut that in half. I'm gonna marinate this one as well. I don't cut this one up in chunks because I'm actually going to cook this one in parchment paper. So I don't like do this one, but I still want to marinate it. And so I am going to put all this. Now I want you guys to understand something. Make sure you're watching and understand what I'm saying. I am touching a lot of stuff with, with my raw hands. That's been touching raw meat. Everything that I have touched, from the cleaner to the glass, to the plates, to the seasoning, to the scale, every single thing will get sterilized. So when you're cooking, one thing to make sure that you don't transmit anything unhealthy to your food or to anyone else is to make sure that you clean and sterilize everything that you're using. That is so very important to do that. Clean every single thing. I clean every knob that I cook, that I touch. I do all of that. So that's something that you want to make sure you watch. I'm moving a little fast tonight. Most of the time I clean stuff as I go, and I'm not doing that tonight. It's kind of driving me crazy a little bit, but it is what it is. We'll get it done. And so I'm just gonna put a little garlic in this one as well. And let me put some onion in this one. So anyway, that's that's my meat done. And it's, again, this is my method. I'm not saying that this will work for everybody. This is my method, but it works for me. So then tomorrow, when I get ready to cook everything, all I got to do is dump it into the pans, and then I can cook everything that I need to cook. So that's what I'm doing, and I think I'm good. I don't have anything else. If anyone has any questions, I'm going to stay live for a few more minutes as I start to clean up stuff. So if you have questions, let me know, and I can answer your questions for you. And we can go from there. So I got to start cleaning up some of this stuff before I move on. So I'm going to wait to see if anyone has questions. And it doesn't look like it. Some tips that I will tell everyone is, when you get into meal prepping, it's not hard, but it does take discipline. It's not hard, but it does take discipline. So what I suggest is to, hold on, I need to wash my hands. What I suggest is to start on like Thursday or Friday or something, and decide what you want to eat for next week. Figure out what that is that you want to eat. And then once you make a list of the things that you want to eat next week, then you create a grocery list. So you decide what you want to eat, then you create a grocery list. Then from that grocery list, once you do that, once you get your grocery list done, like for instance, I knew I wanted steak. So what I do is, because I know I want steak, I say I'm going to have steak in 5 meals. And each of my 5 meals, I'm going to have roughly 5 ounces of steak. So I know I need 25 ounces of steak. When I get my food, when I go grocery shopping, then I get as close to the 25 ounces possible, so I won't have any left over. That's what my goal is to not have any left over. If I know I'm going to have green beans then I'll look at the can of green beans. Let me see what it states. A can of green beans says it has, oh, they changed the labels already. I didn't know that. That it is a third of a cup. It's a serving size on it. Well, let me see. Drain. Okay. So it says that this has 3.5 servings per container. So if I want green beans for the week and I want to eat green beans for 5 days, I know I need 2 cans of green beans in order to get the serving sizes that I need. So I try to buy as close to the serving size as possible because I hate having leftover stuff. I hate wasting food. So that's the first thing you have to do is to create a plan. What am I going to eat? How much of it do I need? That will take you a long ways when it comes to actually going grocery shopping. The other thing, now what we do is we order our groceries and have them delivered. We pay a little bit more, but what I have found is we actually don't pay more, truthfully, because if I were to go in the grocery store to do the shopping, I'm going to buy stuff that's not on my list. So I'm actually saving money because I'm not buying all the stuff that's not on my list. So I order my groceries. But if you decide to go in the actual store to grocery shop, the first thing is eat a complete full meal before you go to the grocery store. I mean a complete meal. Don't eat a snack. Don't eat any. Eat a complete full meal before you walk in that grocery store. That is so important because you don't want to see something and be like, oh man, that sounds so good. I'm going to eat that tonight. More than likely, you're not going to eat tonight. What I have found is when we buy stuff at the grocery store, especially when we do grocery shopping, so many times we'll go grocery shopping and then we get home and we're hungry because we didn't get anything to cook that night. We saw all that stuff, but then we don't want to cook. Oh my God, Clarence just scared the mess out of me. He's in there yelling. I'm like, ah! We don't get everything we need. So it's just really important to make sure that you get exactly what's on your list. Figure out how you're going to do that. If you're couponing, if you are a couponer, one thing that you have to realize with couponing is the foods that are good for you very rarely have a coupon because it's fresh stuff. If you see a bunch of people couponing and they're buying food, most of the time the stuff they're buying is not good for them. So many of us have so many illnesses and diseases and stuff that can be cured or stopped with food. And we just need to spend money. I would rather spend extra money on food than to than to spend it on medical bills. I had surgery this year, and my medical bills topped almost $40,000 in medical bills. And I started thinking about if I would have known everything I know now, that would have been $40,000 of food over years that I could have, I wouldn't even spend that much, but you know what I'm saying. So we have to make sure that we are aware and we educate ourselves on what we're doing and what we're eating. And then we also need to make sure that we're feeding our kids those same things. I don't want anyone to eat all healthy and everything, and you're eating green beans and chicken breast and all this stuff, and your kids are eating frozen nuggets. That's not it. We don't want to do that. We want to make sure that the kids are eating as healthy or healthier than we're eating. And there are some things that we can stop in this generation, health-wise, if we learn how to prepare food for our kids. And so that's something that I really, really encourage everyone to do, is to learn how to cook and learn how to feed your kids, because one of the things that we found in our research is there's a thing called red dye 40, and red dye 40 has actually been linked to aggressiveness and hyperactivity. That one made it. And hyperactivity in kids. And if any of you guys have any frozen foods in your refrigerator right now, or even any canned foods like pasta and stuff, you're probably going to see red dye 40 and yellow dye. I think yellow's 3. I can't remember. But you're probably going to see that stuff. And those things have been linked to all kind of behavior issues with kids. And so you want to make sure that we're giving our kids a chance at stuff, and we don't want them to have the same issues that we've had throughout the years. So you want to make sure that you're watching that kind of stuff, and you're not, giving your kids anything that's going to harm them. We need to make sure we're helping them and not harming them. Let me see what this says. Williams, let me see. No, How much do you eat in vegetables and carbs? Star, I usually eat about 80 to 90 grams of protein a day, and my carbs are usually a net of about 25 grams of carbs a day. This is how I do it. People always freak out when I say my carbs are that low, but I will show you what my carbs are. Most of my carbs come from this. This is yogurt. This is where most of my carbs come from. This has 7 grams of carbs in it. This is the majority of my carbs in a day. I probably very rarely eat anything that is anything that even looks remotely like it's a carb or anything of that sort. I just don't. My breakfast, when I wake up in the morning, I drink 30 ounces of water before I leave the house in the morning. On the way to work, I drink a protein shake that has about 20 to 30 grams of protein. About 3 hours after that, I eat my yogurt. At about 3 and a half hours after that, I eat my lunch. My lunch is a steak stir fry. My stir fry has steak, cauliflower, sometimes broccoli, onions, peppers. Those are some other carbs that I get because vegetables have carbs in them. It's just natural. So those are my other carbs. If I need a snack or if I'm just like want something to eat, then I will do almonds or something like that. Sometimes I'll just, one of the things I started doing is I'll eat half of my lunch at lunch, and then I'll eat the other half of my lunch like as I'm leaving work for the day, especially if I'm going to be busy later on. I'll do that. Then for dinner, I'm going to eat a meat and a vegetable as well. So I don't eat a lot of carbs. I don't really eat carbs at all. And for me, I recognize that carbs, they don't help me because I have an autoimmune issue. So it doesn't help me. So I'm just not going to eat it. But I usually keep my carbs at about at about net 25 is how it usually is. And I'm not starving. I eat about 1,100 to 1,200 calories a day. So I'm not starving. I'm eating, all my meals, but it's just choosing what I eat. My selections are healthier, so that's why. It comes out like that. But yeah, so that's what I do, and it works for me. It's something that definitely works for me, and it saved me a lot of time. It saved me a lot of money, and it's I just have to figure out like what's more important. Is it eating the carbs, or is it what is it? So I realized that I can go without eating some carbs so that I can have other stuff in my diet. So that's how that works out. So I had one more steak left that is actually Clarence's steak. So I'm going to wrap this up so that he can have this for later. I don't know what he's going to do with it. So I hate when my hands are dirty. So he's going to take care of that stuff. But yeah, so again, if you guys have any questions, let me know. And I will be happy to talk you guys through it or answer your questions. And I'm going to do another Facebook Live tomorrow, probably about the same time, maybe. I'll let you guys know when I'm actually cooking everything. And there will be a lot more people in the kitchen then because Jaheem has to do meal prep. Clarence has to do meal prep. And so we try to spread them out. So I may do mine first, then they come behind me to do stuff. But as always, thank you guys so much for joining. I definitely appreciate it. And hopefully you learned something. And this was not a waste of your time with joining me today. And it's really good. It's all good. It's good stuff. It's fun stuff. We learn, we grow. We always want to be better. We want to leave a better generation than how we found it. So that's part of why I do what I do. I want Jaheim to have a better life than I'm living right now. So it's all good. So that's what I'm really, really crazy about this cleaning stuff, y'all. It's like, how many times you gonna do this? Like over and over and over again. Okay, I am crazy about the cleaning when it comes to stuff like this. So if you guys have questions or whatever, just let me know. And I see I'm getting some inboxes, so I will respond to the inboxes as soon as I'm off here. I'll start responding to stuff, and we will. If you want to join me tomorrow, I will be back tomorrow with more meal prep. But thank you guys so much for joining. It's been quite a delight. And it's been really good. So I really appreciate all of you for what you for staying here and watching with me. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of your evening.